Guys, we're here with the Christ, the Redeemer. So do you see a symbolic connection between the film and this place?
I'll tell you what, being up here is as close as I've ever felt to flying, for sure.
Really?
Yeah, the view and the wind, and just the open space. There was one scene in the movie where I was strung up, not in a soundstage, but outside over a building, and then come in and land on the building, and wasn't quite this high off the ground.
That was pretty scary, though.
Like,
that looked pretty. That was the scariest stunt you had to do.
It didn't scare me. I enjoyed it. It was
because you
scared you.
Yeah, it scared me watching it. Yeah, because I knew that we don't put much work into our rigging.
I'm usually the first person.
And there's a lot of people, a lot of the PAs and stuff were putting notches.
That's not true.
In the rope.
Not
because he was eating all this all the craft service. He was the cheese and cracker things, those orange things. Some of the crew liked those.
Oh,
he
so
went in and purposely ate all of them.
No one cares about this.
What? That's fascinating.
I like the details, though.
So they tried to murder him. That's what I'm saying. Because of that.
If it wasn't clear.
And what do you feel that is the responsibility of portraying or even reinventing such iconic characters in a world that's changed so much ever since the first Superman films?
I think the characters were more important than ever. I think that, Superman is someone who's always stood for, taking the righteous path, being a good human being, taking care of the oppressed, taking care of the people in need. And that's what this Superman is. I think, the world has changed in so many ways. And then in so many ways, we have the same problems we've always had and the same dreams. And Superman is those dreams.
David, playing Superman is such a dream for so many actors. What went through your mind the first time that you put on the character's costume?
From the inside, I didn't have the experience of a sort of a stepping into the boots and feeling like I have become the character. It's very intimidating to put on those clothes, those blue tights and the red trunks, and it's not easy to feel like you fill them immediately. It can feel awkward and uncomfortable, and you can worry that you look a little silly. Christopher Reeve talked about that when he talked about playing the part. That you're really just out there in your tights, and there's not much. It's just you out there in the tights. So for me, I the first time I stepped out, sort of onto the soundstage with people seeing me in the suit, I had to muster some forced confidence. I had to pretend to feel more confident than I did. I felt like that was important to. For the spirit of the character, Superman is somebody who wants to, regardless of how he's feeling, he wants to convey confidence and reassurance and a feeling that everything's taken care of. And so I did my best to do that. Luckily, the suit works very well on its own, and the cape as well adds a huge amount. Walk into any room wearing a cape, and you immediately arrest attention.
Well, the experience was for everybody else. The experience was David walked, my first time seeing you in the suit, I suppose a version of it was at the test, but when David walked onto the sound stage for the camera test with the trunks in particular, with the cape blowing behind him in this big empty space, whether you were acting differently than you felt or not, the experience was for all of us. The air got taken out of the room. We all felt like kids again. Wow. Superman was real, and he was in the room with us, and it just infused the entire cast and crew with this energy that we carried with us through the whole thing.
This was an idea that I then stole because, again, walking in without that confidence but wanting to convey it, you then get excitement and reassurance reflected back. You have people sort of, except for James. James was awfully worried, but everybody else felt like, wow, this is amazing.
I wasn't worried. I just was noticing the thing, the suit, the first time he put it on, it was good, but, and I had seen it many times before that. And it was just, I'm always looking at what needed to change. And
You always
so
want to make it better.
everybody, the crew,
Crew got to see it.
they were like,
Thrilled.
jaws dropped, everybody. It was like seeing Superman walk into the room.
Aw.
And that feeling, seeing that feeling from everybody else, that then gave me the feeling of confidence and excitement for them. And so there's something about Superman that is about reflecting and magnifying hope and reassurance and calm in a way that's very much shared, where it's not just that Superman emanates these good feelings, but that he imbues them in other people, and then he feeds off of their feeling of safety and calm and their own courage that they get from him.
That's beautiful. And Rachel, Lois Lane is so much more than Superman's love interest. She's strong, she's curious, she's fearless. What drew you to the new version of her?
I think James walked a really narrow tightrope and was able to balance all the different things that we've seen and know and love from previous iterations of this character. She's all of those things. She is Superman's love interest, and he's her love interest too. And I don't think that being somebody who gets knocked off your feet by that kind of love makes you any less strong or powerful or courageous. And I think this movie really embraces that idea that even the most powerful super people in their own corners of the world can be uprooted and unseated by this thing that is so unknown to so many of us. You can't logic your way around something like love. And so we get to see her in action as a journalist. We get to see her with her friends and colleagues. We get to see this relationship unfold with a new lens, but also embrace the familiar too.
James, we know that action is a must when it comes to a superhero film, of course, but how did you manage to balance those scenes with a human and more fragile side of Clark that's very present in this film?
Really, when it comes to balancing the different aspects of a film, I just go with my gut. First of all, when you have action in a movie, that's great. And I love nothing more than shooting action. That's my favorite thing to do in the world. But the action has to have stakes. It has to be a part of the story. There has to be emotion to the action. There has to be a reason for it. It can't just be 20 minutes of smash, 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 smash with nothing meaning nothing. And so, all of it really is story to me.
In the beginning of the film, the two of you have a very important discussion during a date. And we get to see love, disappointment, desire, all mixed together. How challenging was for you guys to shoot that?
It wasn't challenging. I mean, of course, it's somewhat challenging, but it was so fun. We'd spent a lot of time with that scene before we shot it. It was the scene that we auditioned with, that we read with together. And one that we spoke at length about.
Yeah, but it must have been more challenging when you first came in to do it.
Yeah, definitely.
Because,
but also it was really well written. So yes and no, it's so real.
It was challenging in the best way, in the way that you want a challenge. You want something that excites you and motivates you. And there are elements of the scene, how long it is, that it's just the two of us, that it's in one room, the language back and forth, the humor mixed with the deeper, more antagonistic moments. Those are all very exciting challenges as an actor. So I think we were the only challenge of it that might have seemed like it was going to be rough is it's always sometimes rough to go and shoot the scene that you auditioned with, because in some ways you may know it too well, or you sort of know it from a previous life before you had the role, where you were looking at it differently. And so everything else in the movie is new and fresh, but then you come to this scene and there's this, oh gosh, should I do it the way I did it, or have we discovered new things? I think it was great to start with this. It was the first scene that we shot together, and our first days in Atlanta shooting with the whole crew. And it was 2 solid days. So any sense of awkwardness, or I don't know whether we should do what we did, or it had been 8 months since we had done it last together at the screen test.
Wow.
All of that, we had plenty of time to work through that, and then plenty of time to then get into the fun of just playing with the scene and playing with each other.
And I say it feels easy because I think sometimes you come into a movie like this, a big superhero movie with all this action and people who fly and these big fight sequences, and it was such an exciting place to start because it felt like a scene in any movie. It felt
Or even a play.
Yeah, or a
Yeah.
play, and it felt like you got to see so many different colors of these characters right off the bat. So we got to learn them so deeply within the first 2 days, and then take that foundation with us into the rest of the movie.
The film has also some incredibly realistic scenes, like the one shot in Norway at the Fortress of Solitude.
Mhm.
Am I right? How was the experience of shooting in that crazy weather?
Well, we got lucky with the weather. We were expecting much worse weather.
Yeah.
We had allotted 5 days of shooting if we needed them.
We did. We gave ourselves enough days that we would be able to shoot in case there were blizzards, and there weren't any blizzards.
Or in case it was so cold that we could only be out for a few hours a day.
Yeah, and
We got close, but
it could have gotten as low as 20, 30 below zero
in Fahrenheit, which I guess is approaching the same in Celsius.
I could never.
Yeah.
Much different
freeze.
than the weather here.
I love
Yeah.
the sun, so.
Yeah. Well, we like the sun even more on those days.
Yeah.
But David was a trooper. Like, I knew right away that we had a real trooper, because the very first thing we shot in the whole movie was one of the shots that's part of it's in the trailer, where he's laying in the snow, and it's real snow in the Arctic.
Ooh.
And the camera moves down and in and gets closer and closer and moves into his face, and then he whistles. And he had to lay with his, face in the snow and his body, all, covered in the snow, and do this whistling shot. And we did it a bunch of times. And then we had to shoot this whole scene where he was pretended he was being attacked by a dog.
Yeah.
Talking about Krypto, is it true that he was inspired by your dog?
Krypto,
Also.
totally. My dog is from a I rescued him with a rescue organization. He was being held by a woman in her backyard who was hoarding dogs. So she had 60 dogs in a space about as big as this space where the four of us are sitting.
Mm-hmm.
And he never knew humans for the first 8-9 months of his life, and didn't want anything to do with me, and moved into the house with my wife and I, and just started to destroy everything in our house. He destroyed our furniture. He destroyed, all my shoes, my laptop. I thought, oh my gosh, what if this dog had superpowers? I would be in a terrible situation. And that was the beginning of the movie.
Oh.
And he's also, we 3D modeled my dog. So we took pictures of him and with, over 1,000 cameras, and that's how we built Krypto. So he is my dog.
You put him in the thing?
Really?
Oh, yeah.
How do you do in there?
What? He hated it. He was going to bite people. It was awful. But he did it, and he was just we turned him white. But other than that, it's my dog.
And a lot of the animation, the movement of Krypto is based on videos of O's.
Yeah, I just have hundreds of videos of him playing with the cat and biting my feet and all the stuff that he does in the movie.
Damn.
That's so cool. That's so
Yeah, the stuff where he tackles you is so funny, because it is actually
It's just from that video.
there's videos of him playing with my cat.
Mm-hmm.
Wow. And Rachel, Lois is so ahead of her time. How do you think she connects with younger audience today?
We talked a lot about this. I mean, I think she's always been slightly ahead of her time as an outwardly ambitious journalist.
Yeah.
But I think today, she still represents that courage and hunger and ambition and determination. And as I said, I think we get to see a lot of different sides of her in this movie. She's not any one thing completely. And I think if I could have young women take away anything from this movie, it would be that you don't have to be any one thing. All of those things are the things that make us human. And just because you are more vulnerable in a moment, for example, it doesn't mean that you're any less strong. And I think a lot of different characters in this movie show that. But it's one of the things I love the most about this interpretation.
Mm-hmm. And love is about courage also.
Yeah,
So.
and fear, you might be afraid, but you can do something anyway.
Mm-hmm.
And that's okay too.
Clark Kent and Superman feel like two different people. Which one was more challenging for you to bring to life? The shy journalist or the world-saving hero?
Yeah, definitely the world-saving hero. I don't know what it is, but I don't know whether it's as an actor, there's more to play with in some ways, or you feel like there's more freedom with a character like Clark, who doesn't have the same sort of confidence and bravado, and is a little more nervous and also playing a part. I mean, he's nervous, but he's also playing nervous a little bit.
Yeah.
There are a lot of layers there, and it's just a lot of fun. We got to do some dropping of briefcases and spilling of coffees and whatnot. The playing of Superman turned out to be much more rich than I imagined it was going to be, because James had decided that we were going to see Superman in this very unique situation quite a lot in the film, where he is at his most vulnerable, whether it's physically, he's met his match physically and he's lying in the snow bleeding, or whether he's faced with his romantic match, Lois, where she kind of holds all the cards. She knows his secret identity. She knows that he's been interviewing himself. It's a great way to start. It allows us to jump into some really fun stuff very early in the movie.
I think in some ways you play three characters.
I agree, yeah.
Because he plays Clark Kent, the bumbling journalist. He plays Superman, who's chest forward, very heroic. All the kids love him, talking to the kids, very, very confident. And then he plays Clark. I don't know what else to call him.
Yeah,
like
it's like Kent Farm Clark.
Yeah.
Who is
Oh, yeah.
that's who he is when he is with the people that know him and know both sides of him. So whether he's with his parents or with Lois, and sometimes with Mr. Terrific, he is, he's fully himself at those moments.
James, here at Fantástico, we love a good spoiler. Is there like a sequel planned? And I've heard that you might be writing a new Wonder Woman movie too.
I'm not writing Wonder Woman, but DC Studios is, involved with the writing of a person who's writing Wonder Woman.
Okay.
That was so obtuse. It was barely a sentence. And then I'm writing something that will be, the next in the series of the bigger picture of DC and what's happening. And David and I went to the airport yesterday, and he was badgering me endless.
I asked once if he could tell me anything more. Just this question, but in private, not on national television.
I'm sorry.
Constantly.
I had to.
He wouldn't tell me either, so I don't know.
He'll tell me later.
Okay, then maybe
Favorite
you'll let us know. Guys, last but not least.
Wow, you almost caught that one.
Whoa. Okay.
Hi, buddy.
We're in Brazil, as you guys can see, a country
He likes
full of animals and colors and hope and dreams. What message would you like to share with Brazilian fans who grew up believing in heroes like Superman?
I have been so incredibly grateful to the Brazilian fans throughout the past few years with Guardians of the Galaxy, now with Superman and the DCU. They are the greatest. I really, honestly, I say it to people all the time in the
And
States.
how do they call you, James?
You don't. They call me. I can't pronounce it. Cabressa Branca. Whitehead.
In a nice way.
Yeah. No. It's always, we love you, Cabressa Branca.
Way,
Cabressa Branca. When are you coming to,
Brazil, come to
Brazil? I'm here now. Cabressa Branca's in the house.
Put on a t-shirt.
They. I love them. I mean, coming here, to a Comic-Con, coming here to eat the delicious food. The Brazilians are the greatest fans in the world. And I just love it here. And I'm so grateful for everybody. It's just a fantastic time. And, and I've never been to Rio. So this is my first time in Rio.
Enjoy.
This is the greatest city. I was thinking as I was walking up here and being terrified by how high up we are, that I need to come back. Not here. This is too high. But to Rio down near the beach.
This is our first time here, and I feel like we've been hearing about the power of the Brazilian fans. I certainly have for so many years, and this is our first stop, so can't wait to meet some people and hopefully see them at the movie theater.
Hope you guys enjoy it.
Yeah, I'm sure we will. This is our first stop, basically, so we're about to be
Thank
introduced.
you guys, because I only came here once, and it's been like forever. So thank you.
You only came up here once?
yeah, when I was 10 and it was cloudy, my picture is 10.
Oh yes, we were thinking that. It's like, what if you just get bad luck and you're
I
in the
thought
fog?
the first time, but now I'm here.
Well, this is pretty
This
clear.
is pretty amazing.
Yeah.
Yeah. we
I
got
wish
the
it were
picture.
cloudier, then I couldn't see how.
James doesn't love heights.
Nah.
He likes stringing other people up.
Thank
I
you
do.
so much, guys. I hope you have the best time in Brazil. And I love the film.
Oh,
Thank
thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.